So here's one more update on my voltage calibration videos series. So first of all, a couple of things I found out is when the gauge is put together, the tool that I had made earlier, the key part was too long. So, and if it's too long, it won't be able to rotate correctly. So I don't know if you can see my new key. I did keep the old one, but I don't have it as a reference. But if you can make out, it's just a very small square, more or less, right at the end of the threaded stud that I have. I did have to mess around with both adjustments. Here's an example of it at 7.6, and it's just slightly a bit low. I have actually been tweaking it. I couldn't get it any higher. If I crank it down to the 4.8, and unfortunately this is relatively cheap power supply, so it's difficult to get it to fine-tune. But if we put it at 4.8, the gauge slowly goes down. And again, all I've done is connected the output of the power supply directly to the gauge connectors on the gauge. So wait for it to settle down to 4.8. Takes a few minutes. And again, it's slightly above the 2 dots. I was unable to get the needle with the tool to go much further than hot. It was sort of maxed out. So this is 4.8, and it's slightly outside of that range. Just a little bit. I don't know if you can make out, but it's a bit on the higher side. And then let's go down to the 2-volt range and just leave it, see what it's there. So it does go down. As you can see, and again it's slightly above those 2 points, which I'm okay with. I cleaned this glass on this, put some butyl tape on the bezel, and it's all back together. And I'm going to leave it at this because, you know, as they say, the gauge is just a reference. It's not going to be accurate, but this will be a good starting point to use. But this is how you can calibrate your temperature gauge and fuel gauges on your Triumph Stag and any car that actually uses the Smith's gauges. So, and again, I had to modify the tool a bit more. The one I showed in the earlier video was too big. It needs to be ground down a bit more, so when you physically put it in, you can turn it. Okay, this is going to go back in the car.